it was kind of like this one's for everyone who kind of said that we're not capable of playing good T20 cricket.
It's an amazing spot. I think there's a lot of prep in Malaysia, and it was quite tough. The conditions there were very hot and humid, and we've got here, and it's a beautiful island. The people have been magnificent already, and I just think it's been a nice break for us to, just to chill out for a couple of days. But we're very determined now. From here on in, we're in game mode and we're getting ready to play. So we just got to turn that switch now.
Take them off. That should be enough.
But all round, a very good effort from a team who's been there, done that in this competition before. They've won 3 titles. They've started this campaign very well. Goes with the bouncer. Healy top edges it. Does it get over the top? It does. They've got the single for Australia's second win of this World T20. Here goes across her crease, and it's a very good catch by Rachel Haynes. Molyneux picks up her second, and Australia have qualified for the World T20 semi-finals.
There's no hiding behind the fact we're really disappointed we don't have any World Cups to show for the last couple of years. We're under no illusions that sometimes the best teams don't win World Cups, and that's happened across the world before, but we'll do everything in our powers to make sure when the pressure's on that we make the really good decisions in the critical moments, and that's all we can really do.
Be interested just to hear from the captains post this match about their thoughts on the game. Belemic goes for a duck in her debut game, but the story is all about the women in blue. Undefeated in Pool B. They've beaten Australia, 3-time champions.
So what happened in the last group game against India?
We knew what they were capable of doing, and I think they were probably our biggest threat going into the World Cup. We know how damaging that they can be from a batting perspective, and I don't think by any means we took them lightly, but I think we just got outplayed, to be honest.
Oh, bowled round her legs. So back-to-back wickets.
We probably just didn't adapt quick enough to their plan, which was to bowl pretty much slow outside off stump. But it's really hard to have a perfect World Cup. There's always generally a bit of a blip.
What it really signified to me is that India are a force to be reckoned with, and they're coming pretty hard and fast.
Catch it is the call, and catch it is.
Probably a game I'd like to forget, as I feel like maybe it was my fault that Elisa Healy got concussed. I may have called her into that ball.
And Reddy comes in. Elisa Healy, oh, there's going to be collision. But Elisa Healy is on the ground, and I don't think she's in a good way.
That was pretty scary, to be honest. I watched that unfold from the boundary, and it was like watching a car crash happen. I could see it happening before it obviously was able to stop.
Knowing that she's suffered from concussion before, I think she was keeping the last time she got hit in the head. So I think that was a little bit of a scare.
One of the more interesting things that's ever happened to me on the cricket field, they're always head related, whether it's bouncing the ball off my head and someone catching it or me getting knocked out.
Edging the ball into the forehead of wicketkeeper Elisa Healy before Lauren Smith grabbed the deflection.
I was quite angry. Like I was angry that it had happened, and I was angry that I couldn't go out and bat. I felt like I was going well, I was on a roll, and I didn't want to let the side down more than anything else. We needed to get off to a really good start to chase down a significant total.
It was just a really horrible feeling for me, knowing that I could have potentially knocked her out of the World Cup semi, literally. So that was, weird.
Your shoulder.
Yeah. Well, you run into the strongest shoulder in the team, something's bad's going to happen,
There's probably concern that Megan Schutt's playing the wrong sport. She should be in rugby. I've never seen someone drop a shoulder like that.
But the story is all about the women in blue, undefeated in Pool B of this World T20.
We got over it pretty quick. It's hard not to when you're in the West Indies. There's always a pool and some sun somewhere.
Rach, just can we have an update on Healy, and do you think she'll get up to play?
Yeah, I believe she's on track from what I've heard. But yeah, in terms of the games coming up, your guess is as good as mine. Obviously, she's got a couple of hurdles she's got to jump over.
It was pretty tight. I think our doctor said they had to pretty much nail everything to get her to the game.
She was going to do every single thing she could to get back for those finals, and we knew that it would have taken a lot to, I guess, to stop her from doing that. Yeah, she's a feisty character, and we know how competitive she is.
You know, she'd obviously been pretty pivotal to our team at that point in time, but you know, we had full confidence in our medical team to be able to help and support her through that.
And I guess I was a little concerned that I was not going to be able to produce anything of quality for the group, especially the day before we trained under lights, and I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed.
Alyssa Healy looks likely to feature in Australia's 11 after passing a string of concussion tests ahead of Australia's semi-final against the West Indies. The tournament's leading run getter will return to the top of the order with Beth Mooney.
We've been the hunters before, we've been hunted before, we've been number one, we've been expected to win, and the only real good thing about losing that game the other day, a lot of people from outside this group have potentially written us off. And I see that as a huge positive. We go into this game, we're the hunters. They've got it all in front of them, the crowd behind them, which is great. If we take the crowd out of it by starting well and then keep putting the foot on the throat, I'm sure we can turn it around. And then we feed off that energy from the crowd.
And Motty said after that loss to India that a lot of people had sort of written you guys off. Was that a bit of a motivating force at times for you guys?
People have their opinions, and after a loss like that, it was a pretty bad loss. They ended up smashing us in the end, which was pretty unfortunate, obviously, going into those semi-finals. I guess we were put in the back foot a little bit, but we knew coming up against the West Indies in the semi-final that there was probably a lot more pressure on them, obviously playing at home and being previous World Cup winners.
Yeah, he probably just makes comments like that to get us riled up, I think.
And lastly, let's just make sure wherever we're in the field, and there's cameras everywhere, they're catching us with a smile all the time. Right? We're out there having the time of our lives out there, we're having fun, we're playing with our mates, we've had a great tour, it's been a long tour. We've got one big game here, and then we address where we are after that. But I think we're ready to go, so no one should be doubting where they're at.
Yeah, he always says before a game to make sure that we're smiling, and I think, and I always say to people that I think if you're enjoying your cricket and you've got a smile on your face, you're probably going to be playing really good cricket as well, because I know that if I'm not enjoying my cricket, I'm probably not going to be playing with a smile on my face.
It just helps keep you nice and relaxed, I think. Playing international cricket is pretty high pressure at the best of times. You have plenty of ups and downs, so it's one of my favourite things about playing for this team is that we do enjoy one another's company.
The good thing is we all get along. We all get along so well. I think we're absolutely blessed to have the group that we do, and not every team has that. In fact, I don't think anyone does like we do, and that creates a happiness on the field that makes us play good cricket.
I think life's too short and there's lots of other things in life to be serious about, but at the end of the day, it's pretty cool that we get to play sport around the world as a job and live out our dreams. So yeah, we have a lot of fun. I think we also know each other pretty well, so it's easy to take the piss out of each other pretty regularly.
The West Indies, they'll be riding a big wave of emotion. The crowd will be there, making sure that they're supporting them. And I think the key for us is to stick to what we know and actually stay really calm. So we've had the great preparation that we need. We're in such a good spot to go out there and actually just play the way that we do and actually not get too involved in the emotional side of the game. So I guess once we get out there, it's just cricket.
Not many players who get an opportunity, one to play in the World Cup, but to have the opportunity to play in a semi-final as well, it's pretty amazing. So I think enjoy today, we've got some downtime and the opportunity to get away and enjoy each other's company. But yeah, tomorrow when you're at the ground, I think just soak it all in because it's pretty amazing to be there, and you know, it's going to be a great atmosphere, and you don't get too many occasions like that as a player. So yeah, I think enjoy it for what it is.
Beth Mooney and Alyssa Healy back after that mild concussion, and they have owned the power play for Australia. On the flip side, their highest 73 in the power play. Chipped in the air, doesn't get all of it, and taken. There is the first wicket of the semi-final.
It's another batter gone, looking at the field, the temptation to go over mid-off.
Brewer gives herself some space, Dotton comes on and gets the big wicket. The left-handed Haynes, which is going to be crucial here for Australia.
Rach tends to have a knack of coming in and finding another gear for the team.
Gets a full toss, uses the pace of the delivery, does exceptionally well, does Haynes.
Rach getting that 25 off not many balls was crucial.
That knock sort of, at some point, almost won the World Cup for us. That was game-changing, that. I remember Dotton bowling to her and she sort of went to town a little bit.
Gets on the legs, Haynes says thank you very much. Third boundary of this over. This is crucial here for Australia and the West Indies.
Rach Haynes came out and hit a few boundaries off Dotton, which probably helped us twofold in terms of getting us momentum and hopefully denting Dotton's confidence a little bit heading in with the bat.
Yeah, we knew we had enough to sort of suffocate them.
Takes them to 142, having lost the 5 wickets.
In the context of that match and also the conditions, it was a pretty decent score that we ended up putting on the board. And there was a huge amount of home support for the West Indies, but I think we sort of came out and started really well.
Oh yes, that is brilliant. Alyssa Healy, you cannot keep her out of the game. No signs of the concussion there. She is switched on.
To knock out their main threats pretty early on was a significant moment for us.
Oh, you beauty, what a delivery that is. When you need your star performer to stand up, Perry does that.
A real feature for us was our ability to contain teams and put them under pressure through just good quality bowling, and our bowlers did that consistently throughout the tournament, but particularly in those big moments they really thrived on it.
I think when we were able to get Stefani Taylor out was probably when we felt like we had the game in our hands.
Molyneux to bowl her third over. Could be a wicket, could be a wicket. Here's a wicket, left arm spin, doing the trick.
That was something pretty cool to be a part of out there. You could sense that everyone wanted to make that final.
They just keep on falling, the West Indian wickets. This one goes to Ash Gardner.
I remember we got the last wicket, big group hug and everything like that. And yeah, I think that was the moment where we looked at each other and were like, far out, we're going to a World Cup final. What are we doing?
Excited. We feel like we played well last night, and yeah, we came here to play off in this final. We've given ourselves the opportunity now to win, and coming up against England, always great games, and know it's going to be extremely tough.
What was the talk like leading into the final?
A lot of talk about the wicket actually. We weren't too sure what we were going to get. I think the semi-final threw a bit of a spanner in the works for both games. That it turned a bit more than everyone thought. It was a bit slow, really furry sort of wicket. So it was interesting, different to what we'd all been playing on for the rest of the tournament. So a bit of talk about the wicket. We'd heard whispers that it was going to be pretty flat. They were going to try and sort out any issues, and we just knew that England were going to come really hard at us. They'd played a really good tournament up to then, and their spinners were playing a big role in all their games. So for us, it was about combating that and hopefully taking wickets for us up front.
And England have another World Cup final. The dream is still on for England to win 2 World Cups in 18 months.
It was an extremely long day. Playing at 8 o'clock at night is something that we've never had to do. And I love a good afternoon nap, and I couldn't switch off.
I don't know whose idea that was. So it was. I was pacing my room for most of the day. I really hope they don't do that.
I really enjoy night matches. I like the atmosphere and like just driving to the ground and like as we were approaching, you could see the lights to the stadium on the hill, and that moment, it really hit me that we were playing a World Cup final.
Top two ranked teams in the world face off in the final of the Women's ICC World T20. Heather Knight, you've won the toss. What are you going to do?
We're going to have a bat. Looks like a slightly better wicket than the semi-final one.
So the Australians taking the field for the World T20 final.
Yeah, I was extremely nervous being in, I guess, a few World Cups I've been in. I've been running drinks.
You're pretty nervous. I think leading up to it, I was quite nervous.
Like internally, I was pretty bloody nervous, and I'm sure everyone else was a little bit like that.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free.
Well, the first innings, I felt like we were all just so nervous. Yeah, the fielding and yeah, it's all a bit of a blur, to be honest.
Edged, dropped. Nicely guided, and it's a misfield.
Catch it. Oh, dropped it.
Australia would call their standards poor today. Yes, they're tough chances.
You know, I was in one of those misfields, but I just lost my footing. There was nothing other than that. So it's a tough one. Like, you know, the conditions were, the ball was actually quite slippery because it was really dewy. So, you know, we saw when they fielded, it was quite tough conditions to field into.
I remember in my mind thinking, oh, this might not be our day.
There was definitely some nervousness, but I think too it was just like conditions were probably a little bit different to what we'd seen. We were under lights. Yeah, unfortunately they weren't too costly.
Goes with the full toss on this occasion. A hit and she's gone. There it is. They were nervy to start with, Australia, but they've settled very, very quickly.
To see a young player grab a ball like that and take a real opportunity for us to put us in a winning position was outstanding.
I think it was a turning point in the game, to be honest.
That was our moment that really settled our team.
Yeah, it speaks volumes of Georgia's class.
Aim, throw, hit. Not in the frame.
Reminded of the run out most days from Georgia.
Sophie reckons you bring it up all the time.
I don't say it. She brings it up all the time.
Run out, of course, of Jones a little while ago by some distance as well, not even close to home.
And this time it's been taken right in the midriff.
I think Ash is always a massive weapon in a lot of the games we play. She gets that good revs and good bounce on the ball. Yeah, for someone to go out there and pick up 3 wickets, and I don't think she went for many runs either, really sort of stalled their innings and allowed, you know, the bowler at the other end to really capitalise as well.
She proved to the world that she's one of the best off spinners going around and stood up on the big stage.
You can't keep this youngster out of the game, can you, tonight?
Oh, close, very close given. The Australian bowlers have been magnificent. They really have. It's a good pitch to bowl on.
They need 106 to win the World T20. Is this their year? Find out.
Again, very short. This is poor bowling. This is a poor start from England.
I knew once Midge sort of got going on, I think it was Shrubsall's over. She hit a couple of 4s and it really sort of settled the group.
Bowl!
But then she got out and it was a bit like,
Coming out with the bat, my nerves were through the roof. I was just sitting on the sideline just hoping that the batters would stay out there because I was so nervous. And I probably didn't start my innings how I would have liked, obviously.
Oh, dangerous ball coming back in, maybe just a bit of inside edge.
She looked a little bit nervous at the start there, but she found her groove, and I think that's the beauty of her. She's just so dangerous, so even if she does take her time or things aren't quite working for her at the start, she's just one of those players who can flick a switch.
As Gardner absolutely dispatches a full toss out of the ground. You cannot bowl that sort of delivery when you are defending a small total.
Personally, I was able to do what I dreamt of, and that was to put a really good performance on for my team.
I remember we were all standing up waiting for them to hit that winning run, and everyone just went crazy. And
they played tip and run, they get home, and normal service has been resumed. Australia, champions 2018.
Yeah, whenever I think about the West Indies, I think about how we won as a team.
That pure happiness that we set out what we strive to achieve, and we'd done that. And you know, there was a few ups and downs on the way to getting there, but you know, I was just really proud because the team had worked so hard. They were so determined.
Player of the match for her all-round performance is Ash Gardner.
We had a lot of confidence coming into this game, and yeah, it's pretty amazing that we got the win.
Zero, tournament director of the ICC. Team to come up and receive their medals.
Straight after we shook their hands and obviously celebrated with our coaches on the way off the field, we came in a huddle and sung our team song on the field, which is pretty cool.
We are courageous, mighty and bold. We've got what it takes to win. Nothing can make this team give in. We are Australia and we are proud. Sing it with passion, shout it aloud. When you hear us, you will fear us. We are the Starling Stars.
Emotions just sort of take over, and we end up just singing it as we run out there and really just rub it in the opposition. But it's not on purpose. It just happens, and people enjoy seeing us do that. So we did that.
That in the hand is better than two in the bush. There's three sayings. Two Elises are better than one, and had it up to our back teeth of losing.
Fair to say those slogans got you a World Cup?
Without a doubt, that is the magic.
Those slogans, along with Believe from the great Sher, has got us through this World Cup.
It's kind of what you envisage when you're growing up and you're playing cricket for Australia and you win a game, or you win a test, or you win a World Cup. You're sitting together as a group, celebrating and talking about the game, and that's exactly what happened with all our staff that were involved in a huge, lengthy process. And to sit there and reminisce on some of the funny things that had happened was pretty cool.
And afterwards, we ended up actually going out to the pitch, and I guess just sitting around there and just soaking it all in. It was, yeah, I've never had the chance to do that, and after a World Cup win, that was a pretty cool thing to do with all your teammates.
Nothing much was said. I think it was more just people chatting to the people beside them and just reflecting on what we'd achieved. And yeah, it was sort of a really nice team moment.
And to have done it as a team, yeah, it was something that was really special.
And I guess when you do get to that point, it's certainly very relieving.
We spent a lot of time at the ground actually, and there's one photo from the ground, and it's all of us on the pitch, all the staff, all the players, and like the Australian flags strewn across the pitch. And yeah, that to me is like sort of sums up the celebration. It was just a big group of people who'd been through a lot together, but it was almost like a bit of a family photo. It was really cool, and it was just such a nice vibe and kind of atmosphere to us. It was like the ground was ours for that night, and it was really cool.